Hello children, welcome to the geography class. In today's class, we shall discuss about one of the important chapters of geography, that is water resources. Before we begin the chapter, let's see the syllabus. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about source of water. In that, we will discuss in detail about surface water and underground water. Need for conservation and conservation practices. Rain harvesting and its importance. And finally, we'll discuss about irrigation, its importance and method. So let's get started. Water is one of the most important renewable natural resources for supporting life. For an agricultural country like India, the importance of water resources can hardly be exaggerated. We need water for agriculture as well as for industries. Demand for water is increasing rapidly with the increase in the population, whereas the supply of water remains the same. We receive plenty of water in the short rainy season and the remaining part of the year remains dry. Under such conditions, the balance between the demand and supply has to be maintained. The term water resource refers to any of the entire range of natural water that occurs on the earth and are of potential use to the living beings. About 97% of the earth's water supply is in the ocean, which is unfit for human consumption and other uses due to high salt content. Of the remaining 3%, 2.3% is locked in the polar ice caps. The balance 0.7% is available as fresh water, but 0.66% is groundwater, and the rest 0.03% is available to us as fresh water in rivers, lakes and streams. The main sources of water are as follows: surface water and groundwater. Surface water is available to us in the form of rivers, lakes, ponds, etc., whereas the groundwater is available for us in the form of well, spring, etc. Water on the land is the result of precipitation or seepage from the underground, which forms streams and rivers flowing on the land and finally joining the sea, known as surface water. The water from precipitation, that is in the form of rain or snow, flows on the surface. Some of the water evaporates and the rest sinks into the subsoil. The water which gets collected under the surface of the land is known as groundwater, which remains in the soil, subsoil or bedrock. The rocks in which groundwater is stored are called aquifers. The area where water fills the aquifers is called the saturation zone. The depth from the surface at which groundwater is found is called the water table. Nature has endowed India with plentiful water resources. These resources account for 4% of the world's water resources. Besides surface water and groundwater resources, India has a vast coastal line with inland coast in some states. Odisha, Kerala and West Bengal have vast surface water resources in the form of lagoons and lakes. Though water is brackish in these water bodies, it is utilized for fishing and irrigation of certain crops like paddy, coconut, etc. Water is a cyclic resource and it can be used again and again after cleaning. The best way to conserve water is its judicious use. It is a natural resource which satisfies basic human need. Due to increase in population, irrigation and industrialization, the demand for water has risen. This has led to the decline in groundwater levels in various parts of the country. We need to conserve water for the following reasons. Overexploitation. The overexploitation of underground water often results in the lowering of water table. Therefore, we have to adopt measures and make people aware about increasing the level of underground water. Loss of vegetation. The loss of vegetation causes drought and reduction of rainfall and lowering of water table. Irrigation. Irrigation uses more than 90% of total fresh water. Therefore, we have to adopt new techniques for irrigating the farmlands which need much less water, such as drip irrigation. Population. The increase in population results in water scarcity. The demand for water is more and the supply or availability of water is less. Pollution. Our water resources like the underground water, rivers, lakes, etc. are polluted and their water can hardly be used without adequate treatment. Now let's learn about conservation practices. Conservation of water refers to preventing and controlling of the depletion and degradation of water and making the best use of available water resources for the present and future needs. Due to declining availability of fresh water and increasing demand, we need to conserve water and manage our water resources. We need to take quick steps to make proper policies and laws and adopt effective measures for its conservation. This can be done by rainwater harvesting, adopting water-saving technologies, encouraging watershed management or development, water recycling, and preventing the pollution of water. Now let's see rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is collecting and storing rainwater, which includes activities aimed at harvesting surface and groundwater, prevention of losses through evaporation and seepage, and all other hydraulic studies and engineering interventions aimed at conservation and effective utilization of limited water endowment of an area such as a watershed. Watershed management refers to efficient management and conservation of both the surface and groundwater resources. Following are the objectives of rainwater harvesting: recharging the groundwater and raising its level, checking the rainwater from flowing far away so as to prevent soil erosion or flooding of surrounding areas, checking the rainwater from becoming polluted, and meeting the demands of the water requirement in dry seasons. Now let's see the names of the storing mechanisms in different areas. In India, rainwater harvesting is an ancient tradition. As early as 4500 BC, people of Thar Desert and Rajasthan have been harvesting rainwater. Many other states in India still use the traditional method of rainwater harvesting. For example, Khatri or Kul in western Himalayas, Baolis or Diggis in Gangetic Plains, Johats in central India, Bandharas or Kere in Deccan Plateau, Surangam in Western Ghats, Korambu in Eastern Ghats, and Zing in Ladakh. Today, rainwater harvesting is practiced in most of the large cities like Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. Most of the states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Assam, and Rajasthan have made it a government policy. Now let's understand about rooftop rainwater harvesting. It is the process of water harvesting in which rainwater falling on a roof is diverted through drain pipes to the storage container. Following are the elements of water harvesting. First is catchments. Catchments are also called as collection area. The catchment of a water harvesting is the surface which receives rainfall directly. It can be paved area or unpaved area. Second is conduits. Conduits are the pipelines or drains that carry rainwater from the catchment. Conduits may be of any material like PVC or GI or any other commonly available materials. To prevent leaves and debris from entering the system, mesh filters are provided at the mouth of the drain pipe. Further, A first flush device is provided in the conduit before it connects to the storage container. If the stored water is to be used for drinking purpose, a sand filter is provided. Next is storage facility. Rainwater can be stored in any commonly used storage containers like RCC, masonry or plastic water tanks. Water quality improves over time during storage in the tank because impurities settle down in the tank if the water is undisturbed. Next is recharge facility. Alternative to the storage rainwater can be used to recharge underground water. This can be done through any suitable structure like dug wells, bore wells, recharge trenches and recharge pits.